Hey everyone, good morning. So today we will be going to do the roll-up summary, classic roll-up summary trigger. I have given many interviews and I've been asked this question multiple times to like we have a number of field, number of opportunities on account, and then we pull the number of opportunities associated with that account. Okay, so every time we create a new opportunity, that number should be added to an account. Every time we delete an opportunity, this should be reduced from account. So classic roll-up summary trigger we get in different forms. Okay, now why do interviewer ask this question a lot is because roll-up summary triggers checks your capability as a good developer. Okay, always remember the intention to ask trigger in interview is not to give you hard problem. The intention is to see your coding approach. Intention is to see how good you can write and how quickly you can think. Okay, so this classic roll up summary presents us couple of challenges, and then a good developer knows how to solve challenges. So that is why this is interviewer's favorite trigger. Roll up summary trigger is interviewer's favorite trigger. And this is not from today, like from 2015-16 itself, like this trigger was uh, started populating in the industry, and then people started asking a lot of questions on this trigger, and then this kept on going for years and years. So we will see how we write this roll-up summary trigger, and then we will follow the same approach. We will write a basic fundamental non-bulkified trigger first, and then we will try to improve it later on. Okay, so that's going to be the case. Let me also just put it on chat the invite so that if anyone from the batchman wants to join, they can also join. Okay, so for the preparation, what I have done, I have created a field number of opportunities on account, and then in this field, we will be populating the number. So there is a field, if I show you the backend,
Sir, your
Your
screen is not
screen is
showing.
not.
Wait, yeah,
yeah, just a second. I will share my screen. Okay. So on account object, I have created this field number of opportunities. Okay, it's a number field, and we are going to populate the opportunities associated with this account on this field. Okay. All right, we will be using developer console. So let's just open this and close everything on this screen. And let us create a new trigger, call it roll up trigger. Okay, and we have to write, okay, now we will have to populate the number of opportunities on account, and this should happen when we create or update or delete the opportunity. Okay, so our trigger will be on opportunity object, and we will have to update a related object. Okay, so let me select opportunity, and let me write down the problem. Populate the number of opportunity field on account whenever we create slash date slash delete an opportunity. Okay, so trigger is an opportunity, but we have to update the account, related account. Okay, so our trigger will be in the after context because we have to update the related object, not the same object which started the transaction. Okay, for now, see, this will be on insert, update, and delete. But for now, we will take care about insert, and then we will talk about after update and after delete later on once we are done with the logic part. Okay, so see, whenever you have to write the trigger, focus on the logic building part. Do not clutter your mind with all the three scenarios: insert, update, and delete. Then before insert, after insert, first think about the logic, and you can focus on logic if you just think about one operation at a time. Okay, so see, this is how I find it helpful, but obviously everybody has its own approaches. Now, a classical way to write this will be: for, we'll have a loop on opportunity, and we can say uh, trigger dot new, and let us find the related account which we need to update. So account, let's say current account, and we will do a circle query here, select ID and that particular field, number of opportunities from account, where ID is equals to opportunity dot account ID. Somebody who is not aware about bulkification, who does not care about governor limits or best practices, will start writing further like this. So from here, he will be able to find this account which he need to update. Now, what he need to find is all the other opportunities associated with this account. Okay, so he will create a list of opportunity. Okay, and he'll call it, let's say, opportunity list, and we'll do a circle query here and select ID from opportunity where account ID equals to current account dot ID. Okay, he will save this. Now, what you need to do is you need to update the accounts field. So current account dot number of opportunities will be, let's say, opportunity list dot size, and then he will write update the current account. Okay, that's how somebody who is not aware about any bulkification will do. Okay, so let me save this and let us try to see the behavior. Okay, so this is our account. How many opportunity we have is, we have three opportunities. Let us try to create, and currently I don't think it will have any value on this field. Number of opportunities is blank because we have just created the trigger. Let us write the, let us create a new opportunity and call it test opportunity 4. State is week after this, it's prospecting, and let us say an account is already selected. All right, let's save this. Now, will it update the account? So now we have number of opportunities as 4. Okay, so it will be able to update the account and it will work perfectly fine for single record. But now let us figure out what are the problems with this trigger. So if we discuss the problems, First, it is not checking if it is after this code is running for after insert, delete, or update. It is running for everything. So we are not checking if this is running only for the insert scenario. Okay, that is problem one. We have a SOQL query inside the loop to find out the account. Okay, so that is the major problem one. Loop SOQL query inside loop to find out the associated account. Second problem is we have a SOQL query to find out the all the associated opportunities. Okay, so we have SOQL query to uh, inside loop to find out associated opportunity. Okay, both of these are very bad thing. Then we have DML inside loop. Okay, these three problems and each of these problems are major problem because this will not work for the bulk of the record. We'll either get the SOQL 101 or we will get the DML limit. Okay, so we will have to improve this. All right, to improve this, we will have to rewrite it. Let's see problems one by one. Okay, the first problem which I was saying is that after insert we will take a lit because we purposefully want it to only work for insert for now. Okay, so let's assume that we are only writing it for insert. Okay, so the second problem is we have a SOQL query inside the loop to find out the associated account. So let's get rid of this query. Okay, so why we have a SQL query inside loop? Because we have to find the account associated with this opportunity. Okay, that is why, because this account which we are trying to find is related with this particular opportunity on which we have a loop. So for every opportunity we are iterating, we have to find its associated account and then find the related opportunities. Okay, so let's try to get rid of this first loop. Okay, for that, let's create a set of ID, and I want to store the account IDs here. New set of ID, and we will have a loop on opportunity, so that will remain the same. Dot new, and what I want to do is I want to add the account IDs on this set so that okay, so what I did, I created a set and loop through the opportunities and I added the opportunities associated account ID in this set. Now with that, I am going to find out the list of account. So we were doing the query inside the loop for account. Here I am going to query accounts outside of the loop and we will query all the accounts in a single go. So we will call it account list and we will have a query select ID, comma, number of opportunities from account where ID in account ID set. So we will get all the opportunities. Now let me just save this. Okay, now we have to update the account. Okay, so let us try and change our approach. Here we were having the multiple inside query because we were having a loop on opportunity and then finding account. But if we have to ultimately update the account, then and we have got the list of account, then let's try to have a loop on account instead of
Sir,
opportunities. Yeah, go ahead.
sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Go ahead.
What's the difference between that symbol you have used in the first query and here you use the in operator?
Yeah, so here, because in the first query, we have to refer only a single. See, we will, if we'll have to refer a list or set, then we will use the in operator. If you have a single variable itself, like just a single opportunity ID. Here from the opportunity, you will get a single opportunity ID, right? So in that case, you will use the equals to operator. And if you have a list to refer or a set to refer, then you will use the in operator. Okay, so that's the difference. If you have just a single variable, that is a single record, then you will use the equals to operator. If you have a list or set to refer, then you will use the in operator. I will explain these things in detail later on. So what we decided this time in this approach, because we have got the account list, we will have a loop on account because we will have to ultimately update the account, right? So we have changed our approach, and instead of having loop on opportunity and then later on updating the account, we have a loop on account itself. Okay, but there is a problem. We have to find the associated opportunities with this account. So inside the loop, we will have to find the opportunity. Okay. And let's name it associated opportunity and then query it. Select ID from opportunity where account ID. So now here you see we are inside the loop. So we have a single record current account. We will iterate through multiple accounts, but each time we will have single record. So here we need not to use in operator. Here we have to use the equals to operator, and that will be current account dot ID. Okay. Now we have got the list of associated opportunities. We are already inside the loop. So the next step is just to update it. Number of opportunity field will be equals to associated opportunity dot size. Okay, and save it. And let's say update the current account. Okay, now this is our approach two. Write it down. Approach two. Let's revise what we did. Okay, so we created a set to hold the account ID, and then we looped through the opportunities and added the opportunities account ID in this set. Okay. With the help of this set, we queried the accounts and got the list of account because we have to ultimately update the account. So we'll have to get account anyway. And the problem in our approach was that we were getting accounts inside the query, which is not good for program. So that is why we have got the account list outside of the query, and then we have looped through accounts. Now, obviously, we'll have to find the associated opportunities because we'll have to update this number of opportunity field, and this will require the total number of associated opportunities with that account. So for that, we have queried the opportunity inside the loop, okay, to get the associated opportunities with this particular account or with every account on the account list. Now, the problem with this approach is that even though we were able to remove the first loop, we still have one loop inside the query, which is line number 26. This again will give us problems if, let's say, one account has more than 100 opportunities, or if we will keep on running this for multiple accounts. Loop query inside the loop is always a bad practice. Okay. And then the last problem is that we have DML. So we will remove that as well. Now, this approach helped us to remove one SOQL query inside the loop, but we still have one SOQL query. Okay, so we will have to improve this further. Now, what we can do? See, the problem why we need this Circle query inside the loop is because we have to have an association between accounts and its total number of opportunities. Okay, so if we create a map where on the key side we have the account ID and where on the value side we have the list of opportunities, that should be outside the loop. If we get that map, then we will be able to solve this inner circle problem or circle inside loop problem. Yeah, parent-child relation works, definitely works, and we will talk about that as well. Sorry, Manjunath, I did not understand your question. Can you elaborate?
I mean to say the query which we are writing inside the for loop, why can't we add that in the line number 24 where we can do a parent-child relationship query over there itself?
So you are saying if we write it
Yeah,
here,
correct.
yeah, we will see that. Don't worry. We'll
Yeah.
have multiple approaches. So now what I want to do is I want to improve this. I want to improve this with the map. Okay, because even if I write a subquery, then we will see how we improve that as well. Let's see, we write another approach. And in this approach, what we will try to get is, because we needed the associated opportunities, we were doing this SOQL query. So if we get a map where we have account ID on the list side and list of opportunities on the value side, then we may be able to solve this problem. Okay, so let us try another approach. Let us try to close this. Okay. Approach 3. And we will rewrite this trigger from the beginning. Okay, few of the things will remain same, like this. So we will just copy it. Okay. Now we have to create a map. Okay, we will also have to get the accounts. So let's also copy that. So let us try to create a map. Okay. What I want is we'll have a map where on the key side we have account ID, on the value side we have list of opportunities, and we will call it account to opportunity map. Okay. What I'm trying to show you guys is that there are different ways to write a trigger, and in an interview you have multiple options to write triggers. Okay, so in that case, which one you choose and how you choose depends on how much you can think about it. Okay, there is not a single way to write a trigger. Okay, now to get the value on this map, we will be needing the opportunities. So let us first query all the opportunities as well. List of opportunity and call it, let's say, opportunity list, and or let's do circle query here, right? Why do this? Select ID. Oh, where it Now that we have got all the opportunities, what we are going to do is we will have a loop on opportunity. Okay. That will be the classical way how we put a value in a map. Okay. So let us do that. And do not worry, I will explain this. If this map already contains account ID, opp.account ID, then we just need to get the opp.account ID and then just add the opportunity here. Else we will have to put the value in this map. We have discussed this when we did the map part. Okay. Comma new list. This will be list of opportunity. And then here we will add the opportunity. Okay. So this is how we are going to put the value in this account to opportunity map. Okay. Just a second. Okay. This will be contains key. We save this. Okay. Now on the key side, we have got the account ID. On the value side, we have got the number of opportunities associated with the particular account. So our half the job is already done. Now we will have a loop on account because we have to ultimately update the account. We will call it, let's say, current account. Sorry. And then we will have a loop on the account list. And here we just need to see if this map contains this current account ID, which it will obviously contain, then we will have to just update the value of this field number of opportunities with we will get the number of opportunities from this map here. So we will get the list of opportunities and then we will get the size of it, and that will be the number of opportunities we have to put in this account. Okay, let me just try to save it, and let us also create another list of account which we have to update to avoid the inner DML, and let's name it account to update and new list. Okay, and here we will add the current account in this list. And once we come outside of this loop, we will update the account list. So by this way, we have avoided the inner loop. We have avoided the inner DML inside the loop, both the thing. Okay. Let's revise what we did. Okay. The problem with approach 2 was that we were doing the query of associated opportunity inside the account loop. And this is not a very good thing to do. We had to avoid this inner socle query. To avoid that, what we did, we created a map where on the key side, we will have the account ID, and on the value side, we will have the list of opportunities. Once we get the list of opportunities, it will be easier for me to get the size of it, right? That will be nothing. So that's what we did. And to do that, we first queried the list of opportunities. We already had account IDs. And if we had account IDs, we can query all the opportunities which are associated with the account IDs associated in this. Okay, so we queried all the opportunities and then we looped through that opportunity to put the value in this map. Once we get the value, we already had all the accounts. We looped through that account and we checked if this map contains this particular current account ID. If it does, then we will be able to get all the associated opportunities with it. Okay. And once we get that, we will be able to get the size of it. Once we get the size, we will equalize it with the number of opportunity field on account, and then we put the value in the accounts to update list, which we will update outside the loop. So by this way, we have avoided the SOQL query inside the loop. We have avoided the DML inside the loop. Okay, so this is kind of bulkified approach. I'm not saying this is the best approach. I'm not saying this cannot further be improved, but this is a bulkified approach. There is no fundamental wrong thing with this. Now, whatever we queried here, account list, we have already created a query. We can directly write this query here. Okay. Whatever we query as an opportunity list here, we can directly write this query here. That will be called as SOQL for loop. Okay. That optimizes our program. For the simplicity purpose, I have created a separate variable and have created a separate query, but you can directly do it like this. So you can write down this query here itself, and then it will also work perfectly fine. Okay, so this will be known as SOQL for loop. It optimizes your program. It will process data in chunks. It will not fetch all the data in one go and then will do query on it. It will process data in chunks. It will optimize your program. Okay, it will save the variable declaration. So you need not to declare a variable. You need not to create a separate variable, allocate a memory location to it. So that will improve your program. There are a lot of improvements you can do. There is try catch you can put. There is null check you can put. We are not doing any null check here. What about if opportunity is created without account ID? Okay, that is also a possibility. So here also we'll have to do if opportunity dot account ID not equals to blank. Okay, we can also do it by is not blank. Okay, so we'll have to check if it is not blank, then only do this. If it is blank and you do that, then obviously it will not work. So we'll have to be very careful with all these things. Okay, so this is a bulkified approach. This will work perfectly fine and your program will be accepted. Okay, but we can also improve this. Okay, so there are a lot of improvement scope you can do, and I will leave that to you guys. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, go ahead. I am able to hear you.
सर वो 51 लाइन मुझे समझ में नहीं आया 51
This one?
यस सर
Okay. आपने मैप वाला सेशन लिया था? मैप वाले सेशन में थे आप?
नहीं सर
ओके, ठीक है, फिर तो नहीं समझ में आएगा। देखो, हम लोग का ये तरीका होता है मैप में वैल्यू पुट करने का। दिस इज हाउ वी पुट वैल्यू इन अ मैप। ओके, यहाँ पे क्या होता है लेट्स से एक somebody has a background voice, can you please mute that? Okay, see how we put a value in a map basically, uh, one account can have multiple opportunities and there will be multiple accounts as well. So when we put a value in a map, we first check if the map we created already has, see, on the key side we will have account ID, on the value side, we will have list of opportunity. Okay, so let's say there is an account A and there is an account B. Account A has 3 opportunities. Account B also has 3 opportunities. Now, when we will iterate through the opportunity list, this opportunity list will have 6 opportunity in total, right? So
Yes.
what will happen in the first, let's say for the first time, this is opportunity 1, which is associated with the account 1. So it will come here and it will check if this map contains opportunity.account ID. Because this is the first opportunity we are iterating, this map will not contain anything. So this map will not contain the opportunity ID. So in that case, it will go to else, and what it will do, it will put the account ID like account 1, and it will create a new list, and on that new list, it will put the opportunity 1, account 1, opportunity 1. Okay, then on the next loop, it will come opportunity 2. Now it will check if this map already contains the account 1, because we have already iterated it once and we have put the account 1 here. So this map already contains account 1, right? And it will see, yes, it already contains. Then it will come here and it will get the list which we created in the first step. We created a list on which we put the opportunity 1. It will fetch the same list because both of these opportunities are associated with the same account. So it will not create new list this time because list already exists for this account. So it will fetch the same list and then add the opportunity because list is already there. So that's how we put the value in a map. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Try to do it in your own org. Try to create 1 account, 2 account, and three opportunities on each, and you will be able to understand this. Okay, this is an easy thing. You will be able to understand it, but it is very important that you understand what is written between line 49 to 55. Otherwise, every intermediate trigger will be a complex trigger for you if you do not understand this line. So if you take whole day to understand this, do that. Okay,
Yes, sir.
cool. Now there is a better approach to do this because many people are not very comfortable with this. They find it difficult. So there is an easier approach, and we will easier, not, you can say not easier because almost number of lines remain same, but uh, better approach. So there is an approach 4. Let's try that. Okay, most of the things will remain same except the map which we create in the end. Okay, so we will copy the same part. Okay, now what I'm going to do, because here I have created in the previous approach, what we did, we created a map where on the key side we had the account ID, and on the value side we had the list of opportunities. But what we needed was the number of opportunities. So what if we create a map on the key side where we'll have the account ID, and on the value side we will have a actual number of opportunities. That will be easier, right? Instead of creating the list, if we can just put the number of opportunities there, it will be easier for us to ultimately put here, because then it will remove this step. We will directly be able to get the number instead of using the size method. So that will be bit easier approach if we can do that. So we will try to create a map where on the key side we will have account ID, and on the value side we will have a decimal number which will tell us the number of opportunities, and we will call it account to number of opportunity map. Okay, and we will use aggregate query here. So let's see how it works. Now let us use the aggregate query. List of aggregate results we will get, and let's call it aggregate opportunity result. Now from here we will select count of ID from opportunity where account ID in this set. We already have this set, so we will get that. Okay, and let's, because we also need the account ID here, because we'll have to ultimately put it in a map where on the left we will have account ID. Okay, so let's name it something, call it all opportunity or number of opportunity and account ID, and we'll have to group it by account ID. So group by account ID. Let me try to save this and I will explain this SOQL query. So what we did here is that we did a SOQL query on aggregate result, and whenever we do an aggregate query, that gives us aggregate result in return. Okay, it will not give us opportunity in return. It will give us aggregate results in return because we are aggregating it. Okay, and then we will see how we can use it. So what we did, we counted the number of opportunities and we gave it a variable name number of opportunities. We can do it right here in the query itself when we use the aggregate result. And then we've just got the account ID. It already has name, so we need not to give any name. And we fetched all such opportunities whose account ID is already available in this account ID list. And then we have ultimately grouped it by account ID. Okay. So we will get the number of opportunity associated with each account because we are using group by clause. Okay. Now we have got the list. So we will query through this list. Aggregate result, and let's call it AR. And we have the list. So let's use that. And what we are going to do is, let me write down and then I will explain. Okay. Account ID. I have created a variable account ID, and how I get the value from it, get the account ID from the aggregate result. Similarly, I will create a decimal number of opportunity and we will get the value from number of opportunity. We'll have to typecast it. So this is ID. So ID, and this is decimal. So decimal, and ultimately we will have to put the value in the map. So we will put the value in the map. On the left hand side, we will have account ID. On the right hand side, we will have number of opportunities. So let us save that. Okay. What we did here, we looped through the aggregate result and then we put the value on this map. On the left hand side, we put the account ID, and right hand side, we put the number of opportunities. To simplify this, I have created these two variables and used two different lines, but directly you can do here only. Okay, in a real program, you will directly write it here and that will work perfectly fine. It's just that how you fetch the value from this result. Okay, from the list of this result, aggregate results. That's how you gonna do that. Now, या गो अहेड।
सर वो 77 पे आपने लिस्ट निकाला,
हाँ हाँ
डायरेक्ट फॉर लूप में डाला तो उससे मीनिंग तो सेम ही है ना।
सॉरी।
जो 77 लाइन है ना,
हाँ हाँ
लिस्ट एग्रीगेट,
ठीक है।
तो आपने लिस्ट निकाला तो फॉर लूप में डायरेक्ट डाला तो क्या मतलब सेम ही है ना वो।
नहीं नहीं, देखो मैंने लिस्ट निकाला, ठीक है। एग्रीगेट रिजल्ट को ऐसे समझो ये एक ऑब्जेक्ट है, ठीक है। एंड ये वैल्यू आ गई, अब मेरे पास बहुत सारे एग्रीगेट रिजल्ट आ गए, ठीक है। एक अकाउंट के लिए एग्रीगेट रिजल्ट अलग होगा, दूसरे अकाउंट के लिए एग्रीगेट रिजल्ट होगा, तो ये एक लिस्ट हो गई एग्रीगेट रिजल्ट की। अब हमें इस एग्रीगेट रिजल्ट पे लूप चलाना पड़ेगा टू गेट की पर्टिकुलर अकाउंट से जुड़ी हुई कितनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, उसकी वैल्यू लेने के लिए। वो सेम नहीं हुआ इसलिए क्योंकि ट्रीट इट एज ए लिस्ट जिसके अंदर मल्टीपल एंट्री है, हर एंट्री में नंबर ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी होगी और अकाउंट होगा। फिर दूसरी एंट्री होगी, उसमें नंबर ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी होगी, अकाउंट होगा। तो उसको मैप में हमें डालने के लिए इस पे लूप चलाना पड़ेगा, राइट। अदरवाइज ये तो एक लिस्ट है सिर्फ, इससे आपको कुछ नहीं मिल पाएगा। कौन से अकाउंट से जुड़ी हुई कितनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं, इसकी इंफॉर्मेशन अगर आपको लेनी है तो आपको एग्रीगेट रिजल्ट पे लूप चला करके ये वैल्यूज को मैप में डालना पड़ेगा। क्योंकि अभी आपके पास क्या आ गया कि काउंट एंड नंबर ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी का काउंट आ गया और अकाउंट आईडी आ गई, बट हमें क्या करना है, अल्टीमेटली अकाउंट पे लूप चलाना है, अकाउंट को अपडेट करना है। तो हमें अकाउंट से जुड़ी हुई कितनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं वो वैल्यू चाहिए। वो वैल्यू अगर हमें निकालनी है तो उसको पहले हमें मैप में डालना पड़ेगा, तभी हम यहाँ पे अकाउंट आईडी को की भेजेंगे और हमें वैल्यू में नंबर ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेगी। दैट इज वाई हमने ये लूप चला करके यहाँ पे पुट करा है। जब यहाँ पे हम पुट कर लेंगे और वापस से अकाउंट पे लूप चलाएंगे तो हमें आराम हो जाएगी। तो हमें फिर से ये नहीं करना पड़ेगा जो हमने यहाँ पे करना पड़ा था, कि यहाँ पे चेक कर रहे हैं कि गेट है तो गेट करें पुट करें। यहाँ पे हमें डायरेक्टली पुट करना है, ठीक है, क्योंकि हर एक एंट्री के अगेंस्ट में यहाँ पे नंबर ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज होगी, ठीक है। तो हमारा वो स्टेप बच गया कि यहाँ पे हम लोग चेक कर रहे हैं कि इफ है एल्स है, वो नहीं करना पड़ा। गेटिंग माय पॉइंट, यहाँ पे हम लोग अपॉर्चुनिटी पे लूप चला रहे थे इसलिए हमें ये करना पड़ रहा था। यहाँ पे हमने एग्रीगेट रिजल्ट पे चलाया तो हमें यहाँ पे इफ एल्स कुछ भी नहीं करना पड़ा, डायरेक्टली मैप में पुट करना पड़ा, क्योंकि एवरी एंट्री यूनिक है इसमें। तो हमें यहाँ ये नहीं चेक करना पड़ा कि हम ऑलरेडी उस अपॉर्चुनिटी पे आइटरेट कर चुके हैं तो हम लोग गेट करें, अगर नहीं करा है तो पुट करें, वो नहीं करना पड़ा। गेटिंग माय पॉइंट।
तो मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था,
हम्म।
जो आपने क्वेरी लिखा है 77 में,
हाँ हाँ,
फॉर लूप में क्यों नहीं लिखा, ये क्वेश्चन था।
ये बिल्कुल लिख सकते हैं यहाँ पे ना, यहाँ पे इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस ये यहाँ
यस,
पर उठा करके, हाँ बिल्कुल लिख सकते हैं।
कुछ
आई
डिफरेंट है इसमें, मतलब ऐसे लिखो कि ये लिखो, मतलब कुछ एरर आता है कि क्या, कुछ प्रॉब्लम होता है हिप साइज में, ऐसे कुछ होता है।
कुछ भी नहीं होगा, रुको मैं उठा करके लिख देता हूँ। मैं यार यहाँ पे
वन
सिंपलिसिटी के पर्पज से भी देखना पड़ता है कभी कभी गाइस, क्योंकि ना नए लोगों के लिए थोड़ा सा कॉम्प्लेक्स हो जाता है। वरना करने को तो ये जो मैंने लाइन 79 एंड 80 लिखी है इसकी भी ज़रूरत नहीं है, डायरेक्टली ये सब यहाँ पे लिख सकते हैं, ठीक है। बट समटाइम्स वील हैव टू थिंक अबाउट सिंपलिसिटी एज वेल, कि नए लोगों को कितना सिंपल लग रहा है। अगर मैं डायरेक्टली इस पे लिख दूंगा ना तो हो सकता है कुछ नए लोगों को कॉम्प्लेक्स लगे, ठीक है। और जब आपको प्रोग्राम लिखना हो इंटरव्यू में भी, तो भी आपको कभी कभी सोचना पड़ता है कि हमें बहुत एडवांस बनाने से ज़्यादा अगर हम रीडेबिलिटी इंप्रूव करने पे फोकस करें तो भी अच्छा है, क्योंकि आप उसको एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हो आपने वैसा क्यों करा, ठीक है। जब हम लोग रियल कंपनी के लिए लिखते हैं फिर तो आप कितना भी एडवांस बनाओ उससे कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं। देखो अब हमने यहाँ से क्वेरी उठा करके यहाँ पे लिख दिया, कोई एरर नहीं आएगा और वो बिल्कुल सही चलेगा, ठीक है। लेट मी रिमूव दिस लाइन, ठीक है। यस मंजू,
सर,
गो एट गो एट गो एट।
वो जो उसका जो रिजल्ट आने वाला है वो डेसिमल में आएगा वैल्यू, तो इसीलिए डेसिमल लिया है क्या?
करेक्ट करेक्ट करेक्ट, क्योंकि देखो अल्टीमेटली जो नंबर ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी ये जो फील्ड है ना ये डेसिमल फील्ड है, ठीक है। इस वजह से हमने इसको डेसिमल लिया है क्योंकि इसमें हम लोग डेसिमल में वैल्यू डालने वाले हैं, ठीक है। इस वजह से डेसिमल लिया है, अदरवाइज वो फिर हमें एरर देगा कि मतलब दोनों तरफ से वेरिएबल मैच नहीं कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, डेटा टाइप मैच नहीं कर रहा है। इस वजह से हमने यहाँ पे डेसिमल लिया है और इसी वजह से यहाँ पे हमने डेसिमल टाइप कास्ट करा है इसे, सो दैट कि हमें जब यहाँ पे हम करेंट अकाउंट डॉट नंबर ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटीज करेंगे, ये एक डेसिमल फील्ड है, तो वहां पे उसको ये डेटा टाइप मिसमैच नहीं हो, ठीक है।
और सर अगर ये जो क्वेरी है डायरेक्टली फॉर लूप में लिखे है, तो इससे हीप साइज पे मतलब कुछ सेविंग होगा ना? हीप
बिल्कुल।
साइज एक वेरिएबल भी सेव होगा।
एक वेरिएबल एलोकेशन सेव होगा, ठीक है। और क्या होता है, लेट्स से ये क्वेरी 50,000 रिटर्न करती है एक बार में, तो आप एक बार में पूरा 50,000 ले लोगे एंड देन उसको 200 के चंक में लूप पे चलाओगे, ठीक है। बट यहाँ पे क्या होगा कि ये एक साथ में 50,000 रिकॉर्ड नहीं लेगा, ये सिर्फ उतने लेगा जितने आपको एक चंक में चलाने हैं। तो ये क्या करता है, हीप साइज को बहुत बचाता है। इसीलिए सॉकल फॉर लूप इज वेरी गुड फॉर प्रोग्राम्स एंड आई हाईली इनकरेज एवरीबडी टू यूज सॉकल फॉर लूप्स। ठीक है, डायरेक्टली करने से क्या होता है कि सिंप्लिसिटी तो बढ़ जाती है, बट उससे क्या होता है कि अगर क्वेरी हमारी बड़ी है या वो ज्यादा रिटर्न कर रही है तो उससे हीप साइज भी बढ़ जाता है। सॉकल फॉर लूप में क्या होता है, वो एक बार में सारा डेटा नहीं लेता, वो पूरा डेटा लेगा ही नहीं एक बार में। मतलब वो सिर्फ थोड़ा थोड़ा डेटा लेगा और प्रोसेस करता रहेगा, तो वो अपने लिए बेहतर रहता है। ठीक है।
which means it will finally fetch the 50,000 records, but in chunks.
Yes, it will process 50,000 records but in chunks. So ये एक बार में पूरे 50,000 लेकर के पूरा लूप नहीं चलाएगा, ये चंक्स चंक्स में थोड़ा थोड़ा लेता रहेगा। वो प्रोग्राम सेल्सफोर्स ने अपने एंड पे ऑप्टिमाइज करा हुआ है, ठीक है। कितने लेगा कैसे लेगा वो हम लोग सेल्सफोर्स ने ऑप्टिमाइज करा हुआ है अपने एंड पे। सेल्सफोर्स ने ये बोला है अगर आप सॉकल फॉर लूप यूज करते हो योर प्रोग्राम विल बी ऑप्टिमाइज, इट विल हैव बेटर परफॉर्मेंस। ओके, तो ये करना चाहिए।
So line
Line number
81.
78.
सॉरी, लाइन नंबर।
Line number 78. We should refer line number 78.
करेक्ट, वी शुड रेफर
Okay,
लाइन।
thank you.
But Mohit, there is also a chance that this will increase the CPU utilization because after every time we are hitting a SQL query to the server.
Yep. See, because sometimes we'll have to find a bargain between what we want more. अगर हमारा प्रोग्राम ऐसा है जिसमें सीपीयू टाइम आउट का इशू आ रहा है, जिसमें ट्रांजैक्शन में सीपीयू टाइम आउट का इशू आ रहा है, तो हम लोग ऐसा नहीं करेंगे कि बार बार हम लोग वो क्वेरी करें। तो इन दैट केस वी विल राइट इट एज अ लाइन नंबर 77। अगर हमारा प्रोग्राम ऐसा है जिसमें हीप साइज का इशू आ रहा है तो हम लोग लाइन नंबर
We'll go with this.
करेंगे, ठीक है। तो
Yeah.
ये हमें
Yeah.
पे डिसाइड करना होता है, ठीक है। सेल्स फोर्स क्या बोलता है, सेल्स फोर्स किसी भी चीज के लिए कुछ भी क्लियर डायरेक्शन नहीं देता। वो बोलता है भाई तुम्हें जो ठीक लग रहा है तुम्हारी कंपनी के लिए, तुम्हारे प्रोग्राम के लिए जो बेहतर हो आप वो करो, ठीक है। तो समटाइम विल हैव टू थिंक अबाउट बार्गेन कि कौन सा हमारे लिए ज्यादा बेहतर रहेगा, ठीक है। अभी हमें
Okay.
पता रहता है कि ये लिमिटेड रहने वाला है क्योंकि लिमिटेड अकाउंट आने वाले हैं अपने पास, ठीक है। तो जब हमें पता है कि कोई बहुत ज्यादा रिकॉर्ड आएंगे ही नहीं इसमें, तो इट्स ओके इवन इफ वी आर क्रिएटिंग अ वेरिएबल एंड डूइंग इट, ठीक है, चलता है, इतना कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है। बट कहीं पे अगर अपना बहुत बड़ी क्वेरी है देन वी थिंक कि हाँ इस पे करते हैं वो ज़्यादा बेहतर रहेगा, क्योंकि वहाँ पे ये प्रॉब्लम है कि एक साथ बहुत ज़्यादा डेटा आ जाएगा। तो फिर हम इन दैट केस यहाँ पे ऐसे कर सकते हैं। बट इन जनरल आप ये रखो, इंटरव्यू के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से मैं बता रहा हूँ, अगर आप ऐसे करोगे तो इंटरव्यूअर ज़्यादा इंप्रेस होगा, ठीक है।
Okay.
ऑल राइट, अभी इसको
Sir,
कंप्लीट कर देते हैं गाइस, फिर क्वेश्चन।
Mohit, one question.
Yeah, go ahead, Manjulan.
On 79 and 80,
Mm-hmm.
if I use a AR.get of 0, AR.get of 1, do I still need a typecasting?
See, this is additional सिक्योरिटी लेवल। अगर यहाँ पे लेट्स से आपकी जो फील्ड थी वो स्ट्रिंग थी, ये लेट्स से ये स्ट्रिंग थी, ठीक है। और यहाँ पे आपने उसको आईडी बनाया, या लेट्स से ये आईडी थी, यहाँ पे आपने उसको स्ट्रिंग बनाया, तो दिस इज एन एडिशनल। इन केस देयर इज अ मिसमैच बिटवीन द डेटा टाइप ऑफ दिस एंड दिस, वी यूज द टाइप कास्टिंग। Why I am doing it here, just to make sure that we do not get any data type mismatch, okay. But if they are same data type, okay, then in that case even if you do not typecast, that is also fine, okay. But for the better program and to be sure about what you are writing, we can always use typecasting so that we do not face error in the mismatch. If I, let's say, try to make it a string and if it is coming as id, then obviously we will get an error. If we try to make it as an integer, if it is coming as a decimal, there is a chances that we might get error. So if we are sure that they are going to be same, then even if we do not do typecast, perfectly fine. Typecasting will add additional level of check, you can say, so that you do not get any data type mismatch in your program. But it's not necessary if you are sure that data is going to be same in the data type. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Let us guys complete this. There only, I think, 2 lines of code is remaining, and then we will take questions also. So we have got the loop. We have got the number of opportunities associated with each account. Let us now just do the closing lines. We will have a loop. We'll have a loop on account. Let's say. And guys, whenever you write a code in an interview, normally I can write whatever I want, but do not do this account A. A does not do anything. Okay. So give a proper name, current account, current opportunity, whatever you want to give, but do not use A, B, or C. Those are very bad. Your program will work fine, but it will not do any favor to your program. Now we need not to do anything. We need not to check anything. We will just use number of, or we can have an additional check to see if our map contains account ID, right? Because on the left, we have account ID. So if account map contains key, current ID, then current account dot number of opportunities is going to be, we will just get the value from here, get current account dot ID, and it will give us number of opportunities in return. Let us create a list of accounts to update, right? So accounts to update, accounts to new list. And here we will just add the value in it. Guys, I try not to copy as much as I can because copy pasting is a very bad habit. Once you get this habit, it is really bad to get rid of it. So I try not to copy paste because almost every code is available over internet if you rely on copy pasting. Okay, line number 8.
Oh,
New
account to
list, new
opportunity.
opportunity.
Okay. Sorry.
हमें तो ऐसे देख रहे कि ये क्या ऐसा नया लिख दिया कि ऐसे कैसे हो रहा
Yeah, this happens. Okay, तो फिर देखो, we have done this approach. This approach might be bit tricky for few people who are not comfortable with advanced SOQL queries. Okay, so if you are not comfortable yet on advanced SOQL query and you have an interview to give, you can use this approach and you can write this, and this will also be perfectly fine. Once you make yourself comfortable on advanced SOQL, then you can try the aggregate. But aggregate circle queries are very important. When we do the, after this, we will do the grandparent wala trigger, where we'll have to, let's say, get the number of opportunity line item and put it on account. Here we are doing just one level, account and opportunities. Next time we will do account, opportunities, and then opportunity line item, and then we will pull the number of opportunity line item and put it on account. So that will be one level deeper. In that case also, aggregate query will help us a lot. So make yourself comfortable with aggregate query. If there is any problem you feel, you can talk to me. You can try this on your own. The best way to learn it by trying this on your own, whatever doubt you have. Okay, so that's how we have only done it for insert, right guys? We have not done it for update and delete. We will do that tomorrow. First thing, we will pull this same code. We will try to improve this further. There are chances of improvement. There is no try catch. There is very minimal null check. So we will try to add more null check. We will try to add try catch block in it. We will also write this code for after update and after delete. And then we will write this whole scenario in flow, so that you can also say that this is also possible easily to be done in flow. That will be the agenda, and then we will try the grandparent trigger. Okay, that is going to be the agenda for coming sessions. And what other triggers you want me to cover in this session, please tell me, because no matter how many triggers we write here, it will ultimately be you who is going to write in your interview, and you will only be able to write when you practice more. Okay, so start with basic triggers and then try to increase. We have written everything inside the trigger, so we'll have to move these things to handler as well. Okay, so we will move these things to handler as well tomorrow, so that our trigger will be kind of logicless. And because we will not be doing any trigger framework here right now until we cover the trigger framework. Later on, once we cover a trigger framework, we will revisit this trigger and convert this trigger into a trigger framework. So that will be the like that will be, I think, by the end of March. So that is long way to go.
So Mohit, one thing I want to ask, if in interview they ask about the trigger, so we will write this way, or we just write the code in.
See, this way or writing it in an Apex class, they both are same. Okay, it's just that here you are dealing with trigger.new, and if you will use an Apex class, you will be passing this trigger.new to, let's say, an account list or opportunity list. So instead of having loop on trigger.new, you will be looping on opportunity list. They all are same. And once we move this to, let's say, an Apex class, you will see that it is like logic will remain same. So you can ask, like in the interview, do you want me to write it in an Apex class, or is it okay if I write the logic here itself for the simplicity purpose? And obviously he'll say it is okay to write it here, or it is okay, or I want you to write a handler class. It is better to write it in the handler class, to be frank, because that gives an idea that this candidate is aware about using the helper classes and handler classes as well. So it's better if you write it in the handler class. Why I am writing here directly in the trigger is to make you comfortable with these things. What is after insert, what is trigger dot new, and couple of other things which comes in. Why we looped through this, why we looped. If I pass this to this, then you might get confused, like from where we are getting this account list, or from where we are getting this opportunity list. That is something. But once we cover this tomorrow first thing, we will cover this into the handler class structure. Okay, so that you will be comfortable with that as well. Okay.
Sure,
Sir,
Mohit.
Perfect.
सर मेरे एक क्वेश्चन है सर.
Go ahead.
सर 79 और 80 जो लाइन लिखा है, ये पुट मेथड में डायरेक्ट कैसे लिखेंगे सर? वो
बिल्कुल
जो
लिख
आपने
सकते हैं,
बोला.
बिल्कुल लिख सकते हैं,
हाँ,
बिल्कुल।
मतलब ये तो
मैंने
अब
सिर्फ सिंप्लिसिटी बढ़ाने के लिए यहाँ पे ऐसे लिखा है। आप इसको डायरेक्टली यहाँ पे ऐसे लिखो, और डायरेक्टली ही लिखा जाता है।
इसका डेटा टाइप डिफाइन नहीं करना पड़ेगा. ये जो आईडी आप
AR,
डिफाइन किए.
आप सिंपल से लिखोगे AR.get and this line and AR.get number of opportunities and it will work. It will work like a charm.
0 and 1 also works. Get of 0, get of 1.
Yep.
ओके.
सो आप इसको वैसे ट्राई करना, और कुछ भी लगे तो यू कैन ऑब्वियसली, आई विल कॉपी द होल कोड, लाइक नॉट ओनली दिस, आई विल कॉपी द होल ऑल 4 अप्रोचेस, एंड आई हाईली इंकरेज एवरीबडी टू ट्राई ऑल 4 अप्रोचेस, बिकॉज जब भी आप खराब ट्रिगर लिखना नहीं जानोगे ना, तब तक आप अच्छा ट्रिगर कैसे लिख पाओगे? ठीक है, तो खराब ट्रिगर लिखना बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज डायरेक्टली अच्छा ट्रिगर कोई भी नहीं लिख पाता है। ठीक है, इवन इफ यू ट्राई, मैं फर्स्ट टाइम से ही एकदम अच्छा ट्रिगर नहीं, दैट इज नॉट द वे। अभी आपको पता होना चाहिए ना कि मैंने ये खराब लिखा है तो इसमें खराब क्या है। वंस यू नो दैट व्हाट्स रॉन्ग विद योर कोड, देन ओनली यू कैन इम्प्रूव इट, राइट? if you are able to crack the best possible code in your first attempt, that's the best case scenario, and I want कि सभी के साथ ऐसा हो। but most of the time people feel कि अभी इतना सारा, जब भी ये जब भी ये कोड मैं 4-5 लाइन्स में कर सकता था, तो उसके लिए मेरे को 15-20 लाइन क्यों लिखनी पड़ी? क्योंकि ये 4-5 लाइन में चलेगा सही, 1-2 रिकॉर्ड के लिए, बट ये बल्क के लिए नहीं चलेगा। तो यू विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि इसमें प्रॉब्लम क्या है। वंस यू अंडरस्टैंड कि इसमें ये प्रॉब्लम है, देन यू विल फिगर आउट कि इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व कैसे करें। देन यू नो कि ठीक है, इसको ऐसे सॉल्व करा, फिर आप नई प्रॉब्लम पे मूव करोगे। ठीक है। तो इट्स अ ग्रेजुअल प्रोसेस। अभी किसी के लिए अगर ये डिफिकल्ट हो तो दैट इज completely okay. This might be a bit difficult for few people, and it is completely okay, because nobody knows this from the beginning. Like, you only practice this and then only you get to know. Trust me, roll up summary trigger is the most asked trigger, because this checks all the fundamentals they can check in a particular trigger. Okay. And then we will cover a more advanced trigger than this, which will be the grandparent trigger. And I want you guys to chime in here and tell me which trigger scenarios you want me to cover. Like, I've seen some basic triggers like prevent account deletion if it has an open opportunity, that we can cover. Prevent, let's say, lead conversion on some certain criteria, or let's say we have a number of contact field on account, and whenever we insert an account, we'll have to create those many contacts. So we have a couple of basic triggers, but I want you guys to chime in and tell me which trigger you find difficult and want us to cover. I want to make sure that I simplify that trigger and then cover it here. And also,
Mohit, there's one trigger actually somebody asked me, and there's a account and contact, and on the contact and on the contact there's a pick list field, and in the pick list field male and female option is there. So, and on the account field, there's a two field, number of male and number of female. So what they asked me ki, suppose if we inserted suppose one account associated with five contacts, sorry, five contacts. So if there's four females, so the number of females should be updated on the account four, and there's a one male, so number of males should be updated on the account one. If we change something on the content, like we change the picklet value, like suppose male become 2 and female become 3, so that also need to be updated on that way.
see,
So that
that
become difficult. I'm not able to.
no, that is not difficult. See, if you are comfortable with the roll-up summary trigger, then that is another variant of roll-up summary only. It's just that they made it look like difficult. That is also roll-up summary trigger, from on which you have to fetch the value from contact and put it on account. That's it. It is a simple roll-up summary trigger. Just think about it. Now that you have done this roll-up summary trigger, think about that trigger now. Okay, whenever you, let's say, update or create a contact, you will have to update the account, right? So that is also a roll-up summary trigger variant. Now they have put a lot of structure on this question to make it sound difficult, but again, on the surface, it is a roll-up summary trigger. So you have to do the same things. Okay, try that on your own. If you're not able to, then try this basic roll-up summary trigger first. Make yourself comfortable with all four approaches on this basic roll-up summary trigger, and then we can cover that. But that will be just the repetition. So I don't want to cover a separate, not the roll-up summary. I want to cover a trigger which is not roll-up summary, because we will have another variant of roll-up summary coming up when we'll cover the grandparent trigger. Okay.
I
So
will try from my end. If something I will stuck after this trigger, so then I will ask you.
100%. 100%. You can ask.
Sir,
Thanks.